Doctoral Researcher in the Developmental, Capable and Ethical State Research Division of the Human Sciences Research Council. Ngqapheli Mchunu joins us now for a discussion. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. You've made this call for all voters to participate in the countrywide election satisfaction survey. What is the purpose of such a survey?
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers at home. Thank you for having me. So one of the key purposes of this survey is to ascertain whether or not voters were satisfied with how the proceedings in their respective voting stations were. They also get to assess or measure all the facilities that they would have needed to access or that they would have needed to cast their vote. It is, of course, it is mostly representations of the voters. It's the voters who get the opportunity to assess their experiences at the respective voting stations.
You've been partnering with the IEC since the 1990s to conduct this type of research. What's the focus of the collaboration insofar as what you'll be assessing, even as we look post-elections?
Yes, so the Human Sciences Research Council does have a long working relationship with the Electoral Commission, and one of the key objectives of this collaboration is to ensure that we are able to capture and understand the voters' views and also to inform different decision making. There are several studies that are conducted by the HSRC, some qualitative, others quantitative. So these studies are always factored in, and they become a source of evidence which informs the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has always said that it is happy to make evidence-based changes or evidence-based policy decisions regarding a variety of issues relating to electoral participation, which is, of course, one of the most key fundamental democratic rights in a functional democracy.
I also understand that the framework of surveying also includes a pre-election survey. Have the results and the findings also been released there?
Yes, so the voter participation survey takes place at the eve of an election year. So, for example, we had one in 2023, we also had one in 2018, and we also had one in 2020/2021. Due to the COVID virus, of course, we had it much closer to the elections. However, what is very important about these types of research studies and the value of them is they have two different spectrums. The first one is the VPS, which I just mentioned. It is nationally representative. It follows much stricter samples in terms of participants. For example, a participant is selected through a methodological process. It is not just a matter of approaching anyone. Secondly, it is a household survey, which takes place across the country. Of course, it does also mean that the voter participation survey interviews all eligible South Africans or all eligible citizens who are older than the ages of 16, while the election satisfaction survey essentially focuses on those who were at the voting station and exercised their votes.
So with that outcome, has it been released as yet, or are you waiting for the election process to see itself out and then the results will be released?
So the results for the voter participation survey are quite different to the election satisfaction survey in a sense that like presently we are currently analyzing the data and looking at any emerging or comparative trends over the years. Once that is done, a report will be compiled and given to the Electoral Commission. While as with the election satisfaction survey, the turnaround time is usually much shorter, anything between 48 hours or maybe 3 days. However, we do of course try to ensure that the results are ready as soon as possible, which of course means we need to work quite efficiently to get the results and share them with the Electoral Commission. And those results, as you've said earlier, do go a long way in ascertaining whether or not voters themselves felt the elections were free and fair.
Why would you say that public opinion surveys of this nature are important? What value do they add?
Yes, so one of the most important functions of a democracy is its ability to hear out its own citizens, or for a democracy to be able to allow its citizens to have a voice. Now, of course, there's a variety of ways of doing this, but one of the key drivers behind the public opinion surveys is that it attempts to access a wider range of South African participants. It is also helpful in making informed decisions based on the views of voters. So, for example, we do target about 15,000 respondents each year. That is a fairly sizable number, which we otherwise would not be able to get as efficiently in other forms of studies, for example, qualitative and otherwise. We do, of course, also conduct qualitative studies. However, when it pertains to elections and assessments of how the elections were conducted, the voter participation, the electoral satisfaction survey is the most critical because of its wide-ranging reach and its ability to collect data from a sizable amount of the population.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Ngqapheli Mchunu, who is the Doctoral Researcher in the Developmental, Capable and Ethical State Research Division of the Human Sciences Research Council.